Here's a Nifty Stories project submission from ENA, who's currently a freshman. My first Nifty Northeast event was an incredible experience. It was Lefty's Fall Conclavette 5768. I can recall Becca Hellman calling off my name for being housed by Brian Chevron, the Nifty Northeast president. At the time, I didn't think much of it, but now I realize how life-changing that house was. I didn't appreciate how privileged I was to be housed along with the regional board, but now I do realize how much of a treat it was. The Chevron household was the worst and best place for me to be housed at. I was shy and didn't know anyone but Jeff Pollock. I was led down to the basement where I saw my worst nightmare: seniors. I was expecting to be made fun of, cast aside, and all the other things seniors do to freshmen these days. I simply sat on the side and watched them play Nintendo Wii. Over time, they noticed my presence more when I played Wii a few times and laughed at some jokes, but none of them knew my name. Brian Chevron simply dubbed me Freshman because it was the only thing he knew about me. Eventually, the guys learned my real name, Ian, but it was too late. That name stuck like glue to me, and it will be the way I am known throughout my Nifty years. There was one other important person in this event who I had met in the weirdest way. Alex Margolis arrived late on the night of the dance, and we were playing outside the Chevron's house. By now I had established good relationships with the other guys in the house. Good enough to play around on a 20-foot dirt pile and throw a plate frisbee. I ended up meeting and shaking hands with Alex Margolis atop that dirt pile amid the chaos down below. The rest of the event was fantastic, with amazing services, phenomenal programs, and friendly people. I met so many new people who respected me for who I was, and not for my age. I learned that you could do so many more things in Nifty Northeast without worrying about social consequences. The thing that made that weekend was the dance. Some people said it wasn't very good and said how Levi Leap that year was amazing, but to me it was the best ever. The dances back in my town are just people jumping up and down, or the occasional actual dancing due to the fear of social consequences. Here, most people are open to dancing and don't fear it, since there's never backlash from peers if someone danced with this certain person. When I arrived home from Fall Conclavette, I had major Nifty withdrawal and I missed everyone I'd met there. I'll never forget that amazing house, though. That house was what made my first Nifty Northeast experience something that made me want to come back for more. Jeff Pollock has always been there for me in Nifty Northeast. He got me involved in Northeast and pestered me to go to Fall Conclavette, which I agreed to, and has been helpful even more so on the local level. He's driven me countless times to and from the temple, introducing me to people in Nifty Northeast and easing me into the Nifty Northeast culture. He's the reason I'm here today, telling my story about my freshman year in Nifty Northeast. I discovered a strong thing about myself through Nifty Northeast. Before Nifty Northeast, I'd been very shy, conceived and felt out of place in my home environment. I struggled with my social life because of my attention deficit disorder, ADD. Nifty Northeast has been my confidence booster. I'm not afraid to express myself there, and it has even crossed over to my home life. I'm truly proud to say that I'm a Jew, instead of getting questioned if I really was a Jew. I found that the people in Nifty Northeast are so used to being strange that I fit in perfectly. People were willing to point out the mistakes I made and forgive me for them. I was able to act like myself and not worry about being disliked. It gave me a place where I could retreat from the pressures of school and relax among other people doing the same thing. I'm proud to say I'm a part of Nifty Northeast, even when my friends ask what it is. I find it hard to explain what Nifty Northeast is to my friends. I tell them it's a Jew thing, and that usually suits them, but the more inquisitive people ask more and more questions. Describing to Nifty Northeast to people it's foreign to is, has, and always will be a hard task. So what is Nifty Northeast? Everyone has their own definition. It's time for me to start making my own. Sincerely, Freshman.